Hello and welcome to Arena Draft number 7 here at Tier Zero Gaming with me, Mike, and I am joined today by Lewis. Hi,
Hello.
Lewis.
Hello, everybody.
So for anybody following along, we've had a pretty good run to start with. Bunch of 5-3s, one trophy, a 6-3, and I think we've had our first, not great draft with a 3-3 in the last one, if I remember right. And so here we are for draft number 7. And this pack, we've got a mythic rare that I've never read before because it's not a real magic card. It's a commander card. And yeah, so I needed a good read on this thing. This guy's kind of cool. Jund colors, 0/5, has power equal to the biggest thing in your graveyard. And when he attacks, everybody mills, and I get to play cards out of graveyards that get milled by him.
So many abilities and gets powerful potentially, depending
Yeah,
on
like
what
if there's an
mill over.
Eldrazi in your graveyard, and I'm like it is in green, right? Kind of looking around and you see me wave my mouse around the horrific assault there. That's probably what I would take if I wasn't trying to take this nifty mythic rare that I had never read before. So
Jund colors aren't really where you probably want to be. You
yeah,
probably
but
want to be like more like, I guess if you're like Gruul splashing black, right?
and that's
Like,
kind of my mindset going into
gotcha.
this. Like the Gruul deck is already going to have the ability to splash in a lot of cases, and it's also I want to have the Eldrazi in general.
Gotcha.
So you see right here, I'm taking the second pick, just the repurposer, and just stick on the I want the green Eldrazi cards anyway.
Makes
So
sense.
we've got a repurposer versus a dryad, and like this pick is close. The dryad helps fix colors. The repurposer is just one of the best rate commons in the set. It ultimately winds up being 3 bodies for 1 card.
Right.
Is a 3/3, so it attacks and blocks quite well. This pack also has a signature slam. The unfortunate truth about this pack is no matter which card I take, I'm passing a good signal for somebody else to move into green, and that's never what you want to be doing if you can avoid it.
Exactly.
But like we're already committed in. I mean, committed. You know what I mean. But we have the Jund colored mythic rare. We have an Eldrazi repurposer. I'm kind of on board to just keep taking the green cards
Yep.
and see where we go from here.
Go with the second repurposer here.
Yeah,
I think is
it's
probably
it's
where.
very
Yeah.
close. I mean, you see, Draftsmith has all of them rated pretty similarly. Um, we have yet another repurposer, a birthing ritual, and then a warp tusker is fine, and a fanged flames is probably the other real consideration here. Uh, what I will say is, with a pile of repurposers, I kinda am looking. This is 4 repurposers in a row, by the way.
Yeah.
I am kind of looking to wheel that birthing ritual because sacrificing Eldrazi repurposer to a birthing ritual feels pretty good.
Yeah, because you can just repurpose into another one, right? Like,
Repurpose into another
sack one
repurposer
into,
or
yeah.
repurpose into the quorum or any number of other
Right.
4-drops that are not bad and that you can wind up in the Jund colors. So we wind up with a pretty late horrific assault, like a pick 6 horrific assault is pretty good. There was also the pyretic rebirth there, which is another like Jund colored card. Honestly, with going repurposer, etc., into a horrific assault, I can cut this quorum if it's not Jund that winds up open,
It's true.
and we've just still got a pretty good green start. There are obviously better cards in the set that you would like over a multitude of repurposers, like a Wumpus or any number of another, like some of the good green cards. Obviously, Writhing Chrysalis, but having a bunch of repurposes to start the draft certainly doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, and that Accursed Marauder there looks like a decent pickup if you did decide to go into more like a green-black style
Right. Or even just
strategy
being a
or just
thing that's going to
staying.
play pretty okay with the quorum. It's pretty good with repurposers. Like sometimes you actually get to use the Accursed Marauder as almost like a ramp spell
Right.
by sacrificing one of the repurposers to generate an extra scion.
Yeah, with as many repurposes that you have, that's definitely something that could come up, I would imagine.
Yeah. So here we get a Jund landscape over basically nothing. So, um, yeah. So we're like pretty happy with this start. Probably don't need any more repurposers, but
I think we're good on repurposers. I do. So going back, we didn't really talk about it too much. You did mention the Feigned Flame. You had already had two repurposers, and like the decision was between Feigned Flame and the third repurposer.
Yeah.
And you took the repurposer, obviously.
Yeah.
Was there more like? Was there like actual decision there? Or did you just want to
so
stay green because
yeah.
you were primarily green? Okay.
That's exactly what it is. Given the opportunity, I will stay as close to singular color as possible through a pack, through the first pack, I should say.
Mhm.
And so this way, in pack 2, no matter what gets opened, I kind of get to move into whatever the best thing I can be doing in pack 2 is 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So while I agree that Fanged Flames number 1 is better than Repurposer number 3 or number 4, whichever one it was, if I don't know that I'm going to be playing red, we see what happens. So, like, even in this pack, right, we're wheeling double Royal Cartographer, and, like, that card's pretty good. So if maybe we see that blue is the open color, then we wind up going green-blue. And even if Royal Cartographer isn't great in the green-blue Eldrazi deck, it's still just going to draw some cards eventually. Especially if I'm prioritizing like landscapes and that kind of thing. This watchdog coming around super late.
Right.
If we open some white cards, then we can potentially move into green-white. So, like, just by keeping myself on green means I get to move into whatever feels like it's open.
Yeah. So basically, you just take the good green cards. If you see anything else, pick those up, and then find out what happens. After the fact.
Yeah. See what's wheeling in pack 1. See what you open in pack 2. So another mythic rare that I hadn't, to this point, I don't think had read yet. This card's real powerful, but not relevant at the moment. Felia, I'm a big fan of. I love the little doggo. Powerful card. Flickering stuff every turn is wild. Being able to get blockers out of the way or kill your opponent's tokens is something. Resetting sagas is a thing this card can do. Felia has a lot.
Philly has a lot. There's another Horrific Assault.
Yeah,
as
Horrific
well as
Assault.
A Watchdog.
Yes.
And a Hydra Trainer, I think, in that pack as well. So.
Yeah. We take the Felia here. I like I said, I'm just kind of a big fan of Felia, and also we got that super late Faithful Watchdog, which makes me think that white might be an open color.
And potentially that the one that was in the pack with the Felia might wheel.
Might wheel, exactly. So this pack, if we have all of that in mind, we have our option here of the Guardian, which is okay, 4 mana, 4/4 Vigilance, pays you off from modified creatures. I'm more partial to the Malevolent Rumble over the Guardian, but there's a Wither and Bloom, there's a Galvanic Discharge. We do still have some black cards. We do still have the Quorum. We can consider all of that. So at this point, we're not really like locked into much of anything other than that we have like 8 green cards and we're very likely going to play green. Depth Defiler with double Royal Cartographer, we still might wind up on green-blue. Getting past the Springheart Nantuku is fantastic. We did do a good job of cutting green pretty heavily in pack 1.
Right.
And here's the kind of things that pay you off for that, right? We're getting past a Nantuku. The Disciple of Freyles is good. It's not my favorite, but it's good. Like, we're going to take it, right? Like,
half a mana source with a potential payoff if you cast the creature. So, like, yeah, it's fine.
We get a Nightshade Dryad, which makes me feel a little bit better for not winding up with that one in pack 1. Obviously, we didn't know we were going to get past 2 more repurposers in a row.
Right.
When we took a repurposer over a Dryad, but it is what it is. So here we've got Serum Visionary or Tranquil Landscape. You see I moved most of the black cards out of the deck, or at least the monocolored black cards out of the deck. So the Quorum is likely going to get out in a little while, but...
Or if nothing else, just be a splash for the Quorum.
Yeah, potentially. So here, we've got the Witness, we've got Demon Inferior. If we do wind up staying on blue, like I said, I'd like to be like a heavy base green here, so I'm just gonna take this Witness. And now we see Dog Umbra and the Inventor, both like pretty powerful white cards. Neither one of them is like crazy powerful. It's not like we're trying to first pick these cards, but this is pick 8, and white seems to be what's left in the pack. So there's also the Hunger Tide Rises. So I take the Hunger Tide Rises, and I'm not sure I agree with that. I think I'd like at this point.
Right.
I think I should have just taken either the Dog Umbra or the Inventor. I'm not even sure which, to be honest. Probably the Dog Umbra.
I was thinking the Inventor with the Thalia to blink it.
Sure. Yeah,
But you
could
did
be.
get the
We did wield the
Watchdog.
Watchdog. So at this point, right, we've wielded the Watchdog. We've got the Felia, so that's two like good white cards. Here we've got the Guardian, which, as I said, isn't like my favorite card, but it is a reasonably good card. It's either that or the Wither and Bloom, but I'm not really happy with the black cards I have. But wheeling a Wither and Bloom is like, maybe black is the open color.
Right. Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not a big fan of the Guardian. So I don't know. This seat feels a little weird. It feels like the cards we're wheeling are pulling us in different directions. I don't know. The blue cards we're probably off of, right? Like these Royal Cartographers, this Depth Defiler, we're not doing this. These are probably out of here.
At this point, I hope so.
Yeah.
That was a super late Wither and Bloom, though.
It really is.
But I would still say it looks like you're probably going to end up closer to a green-white based on what I'm looking at so far.
Yeah, that sounds correct. We have another Dryad here over not much. Like, there were some playable cards, but nothing really exciting. This pack, unfortunately, also not crazy exciting. We have the 5th Eldrazi Repurposer. We have Envoy, which is fine, and we have a Landscape, which is fine, but if we're on, like, the green-white route, we don't really need the colorless mana, per se, from the Landscape. So it's just, like, slow mana fixing.
I think the Envoy... Okay,
I
you
took the Landscape.
I was going to say, I think the Envoy is probably where I would have been at on that pick.
So we get a 6
faithful
there.
Watchdogs.
We get a 6 there. We passed, I think, like a Hexgold Slith and maybe something else. But, like, seeing an on-color rare for your base color, like, I just kind of snapped off the 6.
I was going to say, that was there's a 6. I'm taking it, click.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. No real decision there.
So it does look like we are in green-white, as you mentioned earlier. But this Golden Tail what? Trainer? Golden Tail Trainer is just... not the kind of card we're looking for. We're a little glutted on 3s already. We're not doing much by way of the modified thing.
Right.
So this I just want the bird. Just give me the bird.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know where the bird went, though.
Neither do I. Where did the bird go? Did I click something else?
I thought you took the bird.
So did I. Did I misclick? Did Arena mess up? What's happening? It sure looked like I took the bird.
I thought you took the bird. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Sometimes Arena does that, though.
Yeah.
So...
It's happened. Man. All right. So, what do we have? We have a Unicorn. We have an Envoy. We're not really in the modified deck. The Envoy is not at its best here for the same reason the Guardian, that, again, I'm not that big of a fan of. Certainly not at its best in this deck in particular. And, yeah, we're just going to take this Envoy. It's fine. There's an Evangel, which is one of my favorite cards. I think that this card is just very, very powerful in this format. It does kind of everything you need a 2-drop to do. All right. Area Auxiliary. That one showed up in the deck. That makes me think we took something else. What did we take over the Area Auxiliary? What happened? Did we just grab a land?
That might be what happened.
Ugh. Sometimes I hate past me. That's okay. So yeah, we're kind of realizing that these blue cards are very likely going to wind up getting out of the deck. We do have, like, we have the ability to splash some of them. Like, we could splash these Royal Cartographers, especially with multiple landscapes if we wanted to. But we don't really have any other ways of generating energy, which makes them significantly worse. We did move the Quorum out of the deck. We're probably going to move this Depth Defiler out of the deck. Like, double blue is going to be difficult for us. Though we do have double Dryad at this point. Alright, we wheel an auxiliary.
Should be number 3, but you know.
That's
whatever.
okay. That's okay. 2 auxiliaries is plenty of auxiliaries.
Indebted Spirit's fine. It's not amazing, but it's
a
fine.
magic card. It's not one I'm ever happy to play. I guess, like, if I had the Arna Kennerud, I would play Indentured Spirit.
Looks like you just moved it straight to the
I
sideboard.
sure did. I don't like that card
You're
at
not
all.
even considering it at all.
Yeah, like I said, we don't have the modify payoffs to really worry about it. And even if you do have the modify payoffs, like, that thing's what, like 2 or 3 mana to bestow? It's just so bleh.
3 mana for +1/+1.
Yeah, it's just not worth your
a 1/1 spirit after the fact.
It's just not worth your time and mana in this format, in my opinion.
That's fair. I agree with that. It doesn't like give flying. It doesn't do.
Wheeling the Static Prison seems wild
great.
to me. Static Prison or Area Auxiliary number 3. I think we need the removal here, but nope, we're gonna take the bird this time. We get bad removal instead.
It's Spell the Unworthy
Is bad removal.
Is
bad removal.
fine.
It's bad removal. You play it when you have to.
That's fair. It is.
All right.
It is fine.
So, yeah, there's almost no difference power level-wise between the Selesnya and the Bant, according to Draftsmith over here. My mana is significantly worse if we try to play Bant, and I think that's what, yeah, you see me looking through and seeing what it wants my lands to be. I click on the Bant one because I want to see what exactly it thinks I should be doing. But if I remember correctly, that's not what we wind up playing. We'll see momentarily. It wants me to play this, like, semi-off-color landscape because Royal Cartographer, which I'm not going to do.
Here, play this Jund land that can only get forests.
Woo! It wants me to play only 3 planes, even though, you know, I do have a good handful of white cards, including most of my 2-drops.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Being
like...
able to double spell off of white would not be... Well, you do have the Dryad.
I do have Dryads. It does help. That is certainly true.
To be fair, though, I don't know if Draftsmith knows you have the Dryad. So...
Fair enough. But... yeah, the good news about this deck is I don't have to cut very many cards because I don't have enough playables.
I mean, that's fair, I suppose.
Yeah, you got to bright side that, buddy.
I think...
Like, look at it this way. If I cut all these blue cards because they're just not particularly good for what I'm doing, what do I replace them with? There's only 4 cards up there that are green and white. And they're not good either.
Yeah. Yeah, this draft looks like it just kind of...
It got away from me.
Yeah.
You know, we were pretty based in green. We got paid off for being in green. We got the Springheart and Tuku. We got the 6. Like, all of these are cards that were passed to us, right?
Yes. Correct.
So, like, we did get paid off for heavily signaling that we were in green.
Correct.
Through both packs. Packs 1 and 2, I should say. So, like, good job us for that.
Yay.
But, like, it just... We couldn't really ever find the open second color.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe we should have tried to force something a little earlier.
Maybe either green, red, like pick a lane instead of staying as open as you were.
Yeah, could have been. Maybe
or like green, black, like one of those 2 colors.
I don't feel like I was passing good black cards, though. Like... It doesn't feel like I was passing good red cards. It doesn't feel like I was passing good black cards. So, like, I'm really unclear, even watching this over again, what my lane should have been.
The only thing I can remember you passing early on was that Feigned Flames, like pick 3 in pack 1, which might be why you didn't really see a lot of red cards in pack 2.
Yeah, and I mean, we also did see some number of Galvanic Discharges. It again wants me to play this, like, half off-color Landscape that I have no real interest in playing. Again, I have no colorless payoffs here, so there's no reason to have a landscape. There's nothing that cares especially about landfall. So if these landscapes aren't finding me green and white, I'm not particularly interested.
Yeah, that made sense. Draftsmith's just like, hey, play these
Right. And
extra lands that aren't basics
so
because
to be
we
fair,
have them.
like
Yeah.
we do have the Springheart Nentuku, so
Mhm.
having the landscapes, does have an upside. Like being able to be 2 landfall triggers for the
Yes.
Nentuku is not nothing. But it's not, in my opinion, worth making my mana worse either.
Right. You don't have any colorless payoffs. Like,
Right.
there's no.
I have this triple green card all the way up here on the top of my curve.
Right.
So, and I have 6 as well that kind of wants me to be discarding lands at some point in the game, which does make, playing like 16 lands or something along those lines a little bit harder to do. Yeah. I've been coming across this a bunch. Like, I've had 6 in a few different drafts at this point, and the problem with having cards like 6, it's kind of the same problems that you have when you draft things like Nissa or Lotus Cobra or that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Because you have all of this mana in your deck with mana dorks and all that kind of thing, you want to reduce your land count. Right? When you
Right.
like, I have double Dryad here. I have all these Eldrazi repurposers that give me mana back.
Right.
So like realistically, I want to be reducing my land count a little bit.
Yeah, it made sense.
But if I do that, then my cards like 6 are just much worse.
Yes.
In the same vein that cards like Nissa and Lotus Cobra, any of these
Right.
cards that care about the lands that you have. So if everybody saw there at the end, I decided to ultimately put the landscapes back in the deck just for the Dryad, basically. Or not the Dryad, excuse me, the Nentuku.
Nentuku,
Yeah.
Which you have 2 of them in your opening hand. One of
I
them's the Jund one, and the other one's the.
Yeah, naturally.
Actually, that might be the Bant one.
Yeah,
so that one might
I
be
believe
both.
Contaminated is banned,
Yeah.
but all right. So we have a functionally a 4 land opener because of the Disciple of Freyles.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just kind of vibing here. Opponent does nothing for their first couple turns. We're gonna go get our forest, so we have our green source, and then we play a plains and we have a Felia, and we're just kind of vibing for now. We forget that Felia has flash, so we just jam it out main phase. So good job, me.
So I did watch a recent video where you were saying reading the card explains the card.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Reading the card explains the card. I voluntarily, apparently, chose not to read the card this time.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
It does.
Anyway,
happen
opponent's
sometimes.
gonna, put a counter on their thing and attack into my doggo because they can, and then flicker their thing. And I'm wildly behind already, and it's turn 3.
To be fair, whether you played this at flash or speed or not, I don't think it would have made a difference. You had no interaction anyway, so
Yeah, so the thing is they might not have put the counter on their guy, right?
that's fair.
Like, if we don't play out the Felia main phase like a donkey, then maybe they just play out their Inventor, get some energy, or, a Fabricate token. Because, look, the second time they played it, they got energy.
Right.
So maybe they just play it, get energy, flicker it, and then we get to flash in our Felia block. And we're just in a much better spot.
Yeah.
Like, we still have to deal with the fact that they got 2 ETB triggers off their Inventor, but we trade off Felias and we're done with it. Now, we're behind a 4/4 Felia. If we play out a creature to try to block the Felia, they just flicker one of our guys out of the way to get rid of the double block.
Right.
And, we're just...
And you don't really want to flicker their Inventor.
We don't want to flicker their Inventor. We can flicker their Felia. Like, we can just attack and flicker their Felia to get the counters off of it. But yeah. I think that's ultimately what we do. Flicker off their Felia, which gets rid of the counters at least.
Right.
And then they can trade if they want to, which they very obviously will.
Yes.
And then we play out... Why did we play a Witness instead of a Repurposer?
To potentially get back the Felia?
Yeah, but then we're not blocking this Felia. Well, I guess, never mind, because they're going to flicker whatever we play as a blocker anyway. Or they have the ability to, I should say.
Right.
So if we play out the Repurposer, all they do is flicker and still attack, and it doesn't matter. So we'd rather get the Witness down so that we can actually, animate it. If they want to be flickering our Witness and letting us animate it repeatedly, okay.
Right. Yeah, this start from your opponent just looks
Like,
rough.
if I had played better, maybe I'm not behind all of this.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. So we need this land. We need this life. We are sad about everything. We can only play one spell this turn. So, yeah. Evolution Witness is 2 mana to adapt.
Yes.
So we can play a 3-drop. As long as Auto Tapper doesn't tap all our green mana. And then still be able to activate our Evolution Witness or follow up with a Nightshade Dryad. So now we can't activate the Witness this turn, but that's okay. We have a Death Toucher back to block the Felia. We have a 3/3 back to block the Felia. So opponent like kind of has to do something
Yes.
in order to get through this board. So anyway, they played an Argent-Dias to make sure we can't block.
Yep. That's not looking good here.
No.
Buddy, not at all.
Well, like, the good news here is, like, the Argent-Dias at least lets us draw cards if they're getting our stuff out of the way.
True. That's true.
So, like, this still could be worse. It ain't good.
Um,
But we've come back from worse board states in other games.
Argent-Dias also exiles, right? Like,
It does, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we wouldn't get the spawn off of the Repurposer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what they want to do. They have the 2 mana up to activate the Dais. They are, yep. So this is kind of cute from opponent. I believe they targeted the Dais with the Felia trigger.
Yeah.
And
Looks
they're
like it.
exiling my thing, removing the 2 counters, exiling my thing in response, then flickering it so it will come back with the counters back on it again, so they can use it again if they want to. I'm going to block this Felia with this Death Touching Dryad, I think.
I hope.
I hope so too.
Let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out together. So, like, one of the things that's worth noting is we did draw 2 removal spells off of the Dais. So, like, by killing off our Dryad, the Horrific Assault becomes a little bit worse because we lose our Death Toucher. So it definitely, like, just worth noticing that is true, right? Here, I think I could just clean off their board. Just expel the Elemental, Horrific Assault, the Gargoyle, attack for 2, and just have my opponent's board be gone. Alternatively, yeah, we can activate the Witness, get back, like, the Felia or the Dryad.
Yeah.
And have another play. Like, just be able to do more things and commit more to the board.
That's fair, yeah. You also could have just, I think, played the Repurposer and Horrific Assaulted.
That's also
3/3 with that gain 3 life back.
Yeah.
And then you only have to deal with the Flyer later, which you have the spell in
True,
your hand
true,
for.
true. Yeah, like, even though I'm stuck on mana here, there were a lot of options. I like clearing the Glyph Elemental now. We have, we have the Repurposer, Horrific Assault, as you mentioned, to be able to get rid of the Gargoyle. The problem with not using the Horrific Assault now is opponent has the Dais up,
Right.
and the Horrific Assault requires me to be targeting. So there's a chance that I just wind up getting bricked by this Dais.
Right.
Because we didn't use it right away. And that's, that's potentially bad.
Yeah. It's definitely not good.
So Arena keeps wanting to leave this landscape up, so I keep having to manually tap it to make sure I have access to my colored mana like I need. Which is incredibly frustrating, but kind of is what it is.
Well, it wants you to sacrifice it and go find a land.
It is a land, and I need all my mana. Get off me, Arena. Alright, so the good news about Horrific Assault is I'm going to gain the 3 life kind of either way. The bad news is I'm not going to get to do the thing I want.
But hey, you might get to draw 2 cards.
That's true. So we do this. They're going to do something. Sure. That's probably worse
Yeah.
for me because I don't get to draw 2 cards. I do get the 3 life, like I said. So, like, that could be worse. We also still have this spawn around. We didn't have to sacrifice it that turn.
Yeah, it's good.
So we get to have a turn with more than 4 mana, potentially.
Like, yeah, your own, like, a 4-turn clock. Well, now it's significantly,
2
never
turns,
mind.
way worse.
Yeah, I disregard.
Yeah, they don't forget they've had lifelink this whole time. If they want it, they've been just spending energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're still at 19, going to 23 here.
Yeah, well, their life totals are irrelevant at this point.
It matters if I'm trying to actually kill them.
Yeah, you've got time.
No, nope, sure don't. Yeah.
Unfortunately,
so-
that dais has just left you dead on board, I believe, because you could play the auxiliary here,
and then they
but
exile
they
it
can
and
just
kill me.
exile it and kill. Yeah,
Sounds good.
yeah.
Let's do that. So I can my out here is basically play out this envoy because it gives me lifelink
Yeah, you can
on
do
my
that
4/3,
too. Yeah,
and then it's just like they hit me for 4, I hit them for 4.
it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Arena's tapping the stupid landscape.
Hooray.
I didn't have to do it manually that time. Isn't that exciting? Hey, this is where I learned that thing triggers when either player attacks with 2 creatures.
Yeah, whenever 2 creatures attack. Yeah. Usually gave them an extra counter.
Yeah,
but,
sure did.
It's fine.
Sure
It's
did.
fine.
Yeah, totally fine. Definitely not going to be a problem at any point.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
We get to flash in this Felia here, which, worth noting, means we can flicker out that stupid gargoyle to get the bestow creature off of it and
true.
cut the clock down. After a moment,
Yeah, that seems fine.
the static prison is doesn't make me happy, but it is what it is.
Takes out the envoy, right?
Yeah, takes out the envoy.
Yeah.
We're gonna take 4 again. We're gonna go back to 4 again. They're very probably gonna pay energy and have lifelink again.
Yeah. They're going to go back to 20 again.
Again.
Yeah, it's not looking great.
Yeah,
but
it's not ideal. They also have mana up for the dais again.
yeah.
So here, I think all my plans kind of lined on Felia flickering stuff, and the dais is just gonna like make sure that doesn't work the way I want it to.
Yeah.
Yeah, just immediately get rid of that Felia. I understand, opponent. That's probably a good call for you. So
many lands.
now we found all our lands.
Yeah. I knew we had some in there somewhere.
Yeah, they were just hiding. Don't worry about it. So yeah, the witness can't get back the horrific assault. The envoy is trapped under a static prison. They took the Felia, so I can't flicker it or the gargoyle
Why can't the witness get back the horrific assault?
because it only gets back permanence.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is
Yeah, otherwise we could Springheart Nantuku onto the witness, play our land for turn, make another witness, and even then, like, now that we have a bunch of mana, we potentially can, but I didn't even do the math. So now we're on the good old play a flyer and hope for the best.
Yeah. Good luck.
We'll target this thing and this thing. We do get to trigger the witness again and get back another thing. Might as well get back the Dryad, because I have this pile of lands in my hand.
Yeah, only getting back permanents is definitely a downside for that card.
Yeah, it's not the best, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, yeah, like I could have put this on the area auxiliary, and maybe I should have, because it makes it a 4/4, so this is a trade.
But the dais would just exile it, right?
No, it only has 1 counter because they used their counters on the Felia.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
So yeah, I think in this spot I should have put the Springheart Nantuku on the area auxiliary because it makes this attack a trade instead of a chump block.
Yeah.
That said, my plan here is to like loop through Evolution Witness and, rebuy my stuff. Most of the Departed is another flying chump blocker.
Which is really cute with spawn tokens.
Yeah, it's not the worst. I don't have a bunch of spawn tokens, though, unfortunately. We're going to manually tap to make sure this works right.
Because...
Yeah, so So we have this problem of, like, we want to attack with our stuff to try to kill our opponent. But if we do, the Dais kills us. And so we play out a flyer. And what ultimately winds up happening here, this is adorable, by the way, having the auxiliary with double witness in play that we can just, like, regrow two things if we want to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at this point, we're kind of in the camp of, I can chump block forever.
Yes.
That's what we're thinking. Opponent is going to very quickly show us that they can activate that Dais after they attack with both of their creatures.
Yes.
And clear our flyer and we die.
Yes.
But I didn't see that at the moment, like at this very moment.
Right.
So they say good game, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I can loop these auxiliaries forever.
Yeah.
And then they show me why they said good game.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, yep, you're right.
Yep. Pay this energy, keep this static prison around.
Doesn't even matter. Didn't have to.
Declare
have a wing it anyway, so, didn't need to clear my thing with the... But whatever. Yeah. Trigger this thing. Do this stuff.
Don't even
get
need
rid
to
of your
activate
blocking
the
flyer
Dais.
just to be...
Yep. Just because.
Just because we can.
Because
and,
we
yeah.
can. Yeah.
Yep.
That was almost a comeback.
Almost. We tried real hard.
Yeah.
We didn't see the attack with both creatures activate Dais before blocker.
Right.
But we were dead regardless of that, thanks to the Wig It. So,
Yeah.
like, even though we didn't see... Like, we've talked about this before. Just because you would have won or lost a game doesn't mean you shouldn't acknowledge the mistakes that you made that gave away percentage points.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah. This hand looks way better than the last one, even though the last one had Felia and felt pretty okay.
However, that opponent was one of the they still had everything, so it didn't matter what you did. They had it. And sometimes it just happens.
Yeah.
Shake it off, go to the next game, and yeah, this hand looks
good.
like
We
2
have
drop, 3
2 drop
drop.
into 4 drop if we want it, or 2 drop
Yep.
into. We'll see if we draw another one. Unfortunately, we can't go repurposer into Watchdog because of the colorless mana not paying for the Watchdog.
Right.
Yeah, so if we go Dryad on turn 2, we can't go repurposer and Watchdog on turn 3.
It's fair.
And playing the area auxiliary without being able to put the counters on 2 different creatures is not something I love doing. Like, don't get me wrong, if that's what the curve dictates, then that's what we do, but this hand has some more options than that.
Okay, good. You did do what I wanted. I was thinking just Watchdog into repurposer into auxiliary, make 4/4s on the next turn.
Sure.
Like, just curve out into that.
Yeah.
And you went with the Watchdog
Well,
on
we don't
2,
have
so
we don't have the 4th land.
the
is the problem.
repurposer mates the mana.
Oh, into the auxiliary. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Playing mana dorks and not getting them into play always feels weird to me.
That's fair.
But yeah, like this hand with the Watchdogs is just like, I can be a little bit aggressive here. As you said, repurposer. We did draw the extra land, which is nice.
Yeah. So next turn you could.
We can do a couple different things.
Yeah, you could just double 2 drop or 2
We
drop
can double
into 3
spell,
drop,
or
like,
we can area auxiliary.
Yeah.
We don't really have a choice to do more than that. But yeah, we can either double spell or auxiliary. The auxiliary's not bad on this board.
No.
Like, we just kind of went 3/3 into 3/3 into another 3/3, probably. Right. So, like, when our opponent is showing us a bunch of, 2/2s and 2 power creatures in general, we're kind of vibing.
Static Prison takes out
the repurposer, most likely.
Okay.
Right? Like,
I don't know.
The repurposer turns into a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like, clearing the Watchdog doesn't do anything, per se.
That's fair. Vigilance versus not is the only thing I would be thinking
I don't
about.
think that matters. They have Menace if they want it.
That's fair.
Yeah, so, like, if they do this, we can double block the Inventor here, but that doesn't accomplish anything. It just trades off our Watchdog. So...
Yeah, just taking the 5 is probably...
Yeah, opponent's down to
right
2
play.
cards in hand. So, like, we feel okay, not great.
Right.
Taking that big hit. We get to attack for 3. Like, that's step 1, right? We get to attack for 3. And from my perspective, I just want to put things in play.
Yeah.
I want to make it difficult for my opponent to be attacking. So we want to go Dryad Watchdog, I think.
Okay. I was either Dryad Watchdog or Witness Watchdog
I
is
think I
what I
want
was
the
thinking.
extra
But
mana
yeah,
coming off the Dryad.
that's fair. That gives you more mana for the
It's
following
also a
turn
Death
as well.
Touch creature
Yeah.
that makes my opponent's attacks a little more difficult. But past me disagrees and plays the Witness.
Okay.
Um, yeah, like this sets me back kind of 2 mana, sort of.
Sure.
Because I'm losing the spawn and I'm not putting the Dryad into play. So, yeah, this feels like it's wrong from my perspective at the moment. I think just having the Death Touching mana creature so that my options are wide open next turn, and even if my opponent has ways of interacting, I have a Death Touch creature, right?
Yeah, that's fair. That gives you like a 6 mana
Right,
next
so,
turn
like,
too. So
look at this attack. Like, this feels like if I have to throw 2 creatures in front of this 6/6 anyway,
right.
then I don't know. Feels like throwing away a Watchdog and a Dryad, but keeping a Watchdog is a little bit better.
Seems better. Yeah, I agree.
Because then I still have the Watchdog to be able to trade off with the 3/3 now Inventor and be able to block the Unicorn later.
I agree.
Yeah. Because now I have to spend mana on this Witness to regrow the Watchdog, and then I'm still just in a not great spot.
So rebuying the Watchdog and then playing the Dryad here seems
Like, if I'm rebuying the Watchdog, I'm probably just playing the Watchdog, but
Okay.
yeah, like...
that's fair.
Because the Watchdog can just... One of these 2 creatures can just eat the Unicorn,
Right.
and the other one trades with the Inventor, assuming my opponent's not doing anything, which is a bold assumption, but...
Yeah, that's fair.
If they spend their energy... That's awful for me. If they spend their energy to equip, I at least get my Repurposer back.
What is the creature they just played?
The Mog Mob. 3 Mog
yeah,
Fanatics in a
yeah.
trench coat.
Got you. 3 buck Fanatics in a trench coat. Yep. That is exactly what that is.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 Mog Fanatics in a trench coat. It's literal Arc Lightning on sacrifice. So.
Just take out the
I don't think it
Watchdog
matters.
again, or do they take out
I don't
the
I don't
the
think it
Witness
matters what
this
they
time?
take out. They clear one of my creatures. I'm gonna trade with this 3/3 if they attack. Or this 4/2. It has Mentor, so now it has to trade with the 4/2. I take 4 here. I guess having the Dryad left over to trade with this 4/4 is just what it is. So my opponent has no cards in hand. We do finally get to double spell with, like, nothing relevant, but we're also going to get our Repurposer back. So, like, this doesn't feel like the worst. It feels like we weathered our opponent's, like, their draws,
Right.
and we still have things left over.
Yeah.
So we just have to not die.
I mean, sometimes that's the plan, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so Muster the Departed sucks, so we're just going to take our 3/3 with flying and put a counter on our Dryad and get back our Repurposer. The counter on the Dryad doesn't really do anything because we absolutely plan on trading it off for this 4/4. Opponent draws a flying creature. That's fine.
Still
We have a flying
trading
blocker.
the 4/4.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, you've somewhat stabilized.
Yeah, like,
Like
we're in trouble to a removal spell.
Yes.
Clearing my flyer probably just kills me. We do have this muster, which lets us have a secondary flyer, which isn't the worst thing on planet Earth. We don't really have any good attacks here. Like, if we're feeling real froggy, we can attack with the flyer, because our opponent's not going to trade, and then just play the muster after the fact.
You could attack with the Death Toucher if you wanted to, and have the 2/3/3s back to double pot the 4/4.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, attack with the flyer. Opponent, yep. Play a new flyer. Trigger Morbid. End the turn. Make yet another flyer.
Yay, flyers.
So we're not just dead to this stupid cat dragon.
And not dead to a single removal spell
And we're
either.
not dead
'Cause
to
you
a
can just
single
jump.
removal
Yeah.
spell. Exactly. So, like, this is okay. I've been in worse spots. I was in worse spots this game.
Yes.
So, that card is actually good for a change.
It gains you life too, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure
Yeah.
does. That card, it says, sacrifice one of these repurposers, draw 3 cards, gain 3 life, and make a spawn,
Yeah.
which triggers Morbid, which
And
gives me another flyer.
sacrificing the 3/3 triggers Morbid anyways.
That's true, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
I
is...
don't know if I like the...
I'm trying... My opponent's at 11.
That's fair.
We have a death-touching creature back. We have a flying creature back. We're going to gain 3 life here and draw 3 cards. We're going to make another flying creature. Like, we're just trying to close out this game.
That's fair.
That's the goal. Opponent doesn't know what's in hand. Like, any of the tricks in green-white just make this a bad block for my opponent. They're not just dead, but if I have a trick, they are. But if I had a trick, I'd probably attack with everything, right?
Yeah, I think... Let's see. If you attack with everything...
If I attack with everything, they just block a
6,
3/3,
7,
and
8,
yeah,
9.
they're not dead.
Yeah, it's only 9. So yeah, maybe this attack is fine, but I think if I'm an opponent, I probably just like snap block one of the 3/3s.
I agree.
Like,
I also snap block from the opponent's side, but again, none of that super matters here. We're just trying to resolve this disciple post combat.
right, yeah.
We just want some cards. We want to grind this game. You know, opponent chooses to no block, thinking maybe they can get through, I guess, but whatever. Maybe they were worried because I'm going, like, triggering Morbid. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
They could have not blocked because they didn't want me to have another flyer, because then I am potentially dead to a kill spell.
Right.
But, like, they can't know that I'm going to trigger Morbid myself, right?
Could have also just been playing on their phone and went through a tunnel or something,
Sure,
you know,
sure.
disconnected.
Yeah, plenty of things that could have caused that.
But that Fraley's gaining the drawing 3 and gaining 3 life, like
just kind of cemented everything.
To stabilize you and also populating, like
puts me to 8, makes
like,
a second flying blocker.
Makes you way more difficult to kill.
Yeah. We still have a death-touching creature on the ground. We have a 3/3 on the ground. We have 2 1/1 flyers. We have another spawn token at that point, which means we're guaranteed to trigger and get another flyer next turn. And our opponent is down to 2, 3, something like that.
Right. This hand was a decision.
It has all of my colors of mana. It's fine. Like, this is crack landscape to go get a white source, play landscape, play Felia.
Right, yeah.
Play
I guess,
repurposer.
Bolting yourself?
No, I don't have to. I have another landscape.
Okay, so...
White source plus
Felia.
landscape is play Felia, and then we drew a landscape, but we had the Disciple either way to start chaining repurposers after that.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, this hand was fine.
Fair enough.
Like, we can't play the Watchdog easily, but, like, we can play the rest of our hand pretty fine.
Okay, so you did end up bolting yourself.
Yeah, opponent showed me Boros with a Conduit Goblin off the rip, so we just want the 3/3 in play.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like,
which also makes it a little bit easier to just go straight into the repurposer, too.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about the
landscape. Not getting the Felia down early never feels fantastic. You know, you always want to be attacking with the doggo when possible.
Right.
But, yeah, opponent showing me Conduit Goblin. I just wanted the 3/3 down. Mm-hmm. Flage sucks.
Yeah.
That's probably terrible for me. Guess we'll find out soon.
Probably not great. Yeah.
Anyway, here's this other 3/3, I guess.
Good news is it's several cards away from coming back.
Yeah, the good news is it didn't commit more to the board right now.
Right.
That it was a big dumb lightning helix.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's not good.
Well, my opponent has now played the card with the second highest win rate in the format and the third highest win rate in the format.
Nice.
So,
at least they can't do that one.
Yeah.
That Siege Gang. Spawn gain, Commander.
Opponent's hand was very good.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got some spawns, so we get to, like, we've got mana now, I guess.
Nice.
Anyway, they're attacking for 5.
Yep. I think you just take it here too, right?
Yeah,
Like
sure.
there's
Like I
there's
can
no
I
need
can
to
block
block.
3, I
I
guess.
don't think
Like
it's
just jump.
necessary, right? You just like take
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't matter that much. It's just like they do have that flage. I'm gonna die. Yeah, just
Okay,
soak up 3.
fair enough.
That's it. That's all we're trying to do. Just take 3 less damage.
Fair
Try
enough.
and stay in double digits for as long as possible.
All right.
So we can repurpose her into Felia here
Mm-hmm.
after declaring a chump block, which is not terrible, assuming we don't let Auto Tapper tap our white source. Okay, good.
Good job, Auto Tapper. Or well, not really.
No, Auto
Good.
Tapper tried to tap the planes. You saw it. I saw it.
Good job, past you.
Good job past me paying attention to
Yeah.
Auto Tapper.
That. Yep. Yep.
Um, Notably, at least at the moment, opponent doesn't have the second white source
Right.
for the Flage. They don't have enough cards in graveyard yet anyway, but not having the second white source is nice.
Yeah, definitely good for you.
Because they sure are putting a lot of things into play that are making my life miserable.
Having a flyer sots, but
Yeah, it's not good.
Felia can just blink that germ out of existence
True,
if
true.
you wanted to.
And that does cost them a whole lot to move around.
But with them having a 2/3 black that's back, that's probably not what you're going to do.
Yeah, so that's the problem, right? Like, if I attack with the Felia, I
Yeah.
don't have a good attack here.
Right.
The fact that they didn't get in on the ground at all
Yeah.
means I didn't even get to, like, chump block with the spawn and flash in the Felia, right?
Which made sense though. They didn't really have good attacks on the ground.
Yeah.
So.
Like, they could have put the Conduit Goblin energy into the Amped Raptor, but then, like, the spawn just soaks it up.
Right.
So, yeah, no, they didn't have great attacks. I was hoping they would attack. Like, I definitely needed to be able to eat something there.
Right.
Just taking more damage kind of sucks for me, but
Yeah. So witness into
yeah. So we're not playing out the Watchdog here. We're leaving up the mana for the Witness because
Yeah.
we just want to rebuy like 3/3s basically.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like, we just need to pump up the Witness. Opponent is tapped out, so this is the best chance we're going to get to just be able to play and adapt without worrying about, like, discharge or similar. We only have the one white source in play, so we need to get the Repurposer over the second Watchdog, even though they're both 3/3s.
Gotcha.
We only have the one white source, so we wouldn't be able to play the second Watchdog if we grabbed it. Like, these landscapes, while being mana, and that's good,
Yeah.
are still, a bit of an issue as far as us trying to maneuver this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly which landscape it is that you currently have. I don't know if it has the ability to get white. Because if it does, you could have used the spawn to evolve the witness
true.
and get a white source off of the landscape, but I don't know if that landscape has
Yeah.
that capability.
Opponent just doing their job and trucking in with the stupid flyer.
Yeah, they're just gonna kill you in the air.
Yeah.
So they can find that second white source and kill you with Fleech.
Exactly.
Which I still don't think they have enough cards in their graveyard.
Yeah, I haven't killed anything, so probably not. That doesn't do anything. I hate that card.
It's
I really don't like that card. I have it in the deck because I needed more playables because
true.
my draft wasn't very good.
It's true.
And now we're drawing it, and it feels terrible.
Going on to Felia here, making Felia 3/3 and blinking the germ seems fine.
Sure, I guess.
Like that's the only thing I can think of. Like Felia, like this board's not good for Felia currently, right?
True.
So like making Felia.
I don't think we need to
a
blink the
3/3.
germ for what it's worth, because if we're putting the Indebted Spirit onto the Felia, then attacking, and if they're killing the Felia, which presumably they're going to want to,
True.
then we get the Afterlife token, which trades with the germ.
True. So do you blink the witness if you do that then?
I think so.
Okay.
Like,
Which makes sense because then you
'cause,
can
yeah,
get
I get
back
to-
whatever.
well, I get to rebuy the Felia even
Yeah, yeah.
potentially. So
Yeah, but
we'll see what past me decided here. I'm attacking is still kind of dangerous here. Not because I'm worried about the Felia dying. Like, we have the ability to flicker the witness. But by doing this, we're shrinking one of our creatures. We are losing a blocker because we're attacking with the Felia.
Right.
And if opponent just no blocks because they're at 22, what do they care?
Right.
Then they have the opportunity to have a pretty big attack.
Yeah.
That's potentially awful for us. So we can... Yeah, our choices here were play out the second Repurposer, which is sort of free. Like, we're losing a Scion to get a Scion.
Right.
And then get our Witness back, but we can't evolve the Witness now.
Gotcha.
Which is fine. Like, that just kind of is what it is. So,
I mean, did in fact no block.
There's the second white source. They get Battle Cry because they hit a land drop.
Yep.
As you said, I don't think they have enough cards in their graveyard to get the Flage. Yeah, the Barbarian Ring says 2. So they have 2 cards in their graveyard.
Way to go, Barbarian Ring, giving us some information. So, yeah, they don't really have graded... I mean, I guess the Amped Raptor has first strike, so if they attack with it and
it gets blocked by a Scion. Remember that the
yeah.
Pyrosurfer has Battle Cry right now because they played their land.
Right.
So they can... Yeah,
Okay, they just give it flying.
they sure did.
Okay.
And pumped it.
Okay. So just 2 turn clocky.
And Battle Cry. Or just attack with the Raptor? Yeah, okay. Just the Raptor.
Just 2 turn clocky.
Yep.
Okay.
Boop.
Makes sense.
I am booped. And by booped, I mean very sad. Anyway, that card's a sorcery, so it sucks.
I mean...
What?
Nope. Never mind.
Yeah, they just moved the kite over.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
This card sucks. Hey, you know what's really cool?
What's that?
It says if you pay 5 mana an exile thing, you can gain 3 life.
Mm-hmm.
You know the kicker also costs white?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I have 1 white source.
You do.
Yeah. I was trying to make this really cool play where I exiled my own thing
Yeah.
to gain life.
Yeah.
And then realized that I only have the 1 white source and was very sad about it.
To be fair, you didn't play your land last turn,
That's true.
so you could have had a second white source.
I guess.
But then you may not have drawn the spell. So, yeah, this game. Let's just be honest. That's not great.
Deck's not great.
You did the best with what you had.
Yeah, I still feel like I could have done something better here. I'm just not sure exactly what.
Open Writhing Chrysalis.
Get better at opening Writhing Chrysalis. You got it. What's the flicker here? Like, if I'm attacking with everything, opponent's not going to block. They don't care. Nothing I'm doing matters. I'm at 3. They have a 3-power flyer. This game's functionally over. Make them pay mana to re-equip, I guess?
But then they get, like, the Amped Raptor trigger.
Nah, it's only if you cast it.
Oh, it's only if you cast it? Okay. Alright.
If you cast it from your hand, specifically.
They actually block this time?
Yeah, but they block with the thing with Unearth.
Yeah.
Like, this is free. This is super free for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You
this
might
is the
actually
part...
be just straight up
I
dead
am,
to
because
the
I
block
think
from
this
the
is the
gatekeeper.
part that I realize that I can't... See? I try to kick it and target my own thing. I say yes, and it doesn't work. And I'm like, why doesn't it work? And I'm like, oh, I only have 1 white source.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful? See, we wouldn't have been dead. We would have gone to 6.
Yeah.
We're not dead from 6.
Right. Would you like to kick this? Yes. You can't. All right, I'm done.
Get me out of here. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure when the right time would have been to try to crack one of those landscapes to find a white source. I did skip a land drop, but I think, like, one, I didn't have the Expel in my hand, so I wasn't
Right.
thinking
Yeah,
I needed
no.
double white.
Sure.
But that also means that I wasn't playing to drawing it.
Right.
But then again, exiling my own thing is not the most intuitive line to be setting up ahead of time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
So,
Also, again, if you would have played the landscape, cracked it to get a white source, you may not have even drawn the it
Right,
spell.
correct.
So, like, because,
Yeah. Like randomization, yada
yeah.
yada yada.
So,
No, I understand all that. Just not thrilled with how this game has really played out. That wombat can get right out of my face.
see, it spells okay.
No,
Okay, alright. I tried.
yeah, expel would be okay if it was an instant and I could do it after they waste 4 mana to power up the wombat or similar.
That's fair.
But I can't do that.
No.
And now I'm way behind this expanding ooze that's going to get gigantic very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Is about to attack me for 5, and I'm going to be sad about it.
Yeah, Expanding Ooze is,
Expands?
no, I wasn't going to say that.
Oh.
But yes.
I did say that.
It does do that.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's a really good card.
Ow. I think maybe I should have just blocked with the token there, but I guess like I didn't really want to take 3 from the Disciple. I don't know. I don't think it matters. So we can play out a 4/4, but then a removal spell makes me sad. We can bestow an Entuku onto our 3/3, play our Disciple as land for turn, and make a copy of the 3/3 so that we can try to double block. That also sounds terrible. They trade. That's fine. We get another idiot. That's fine. We at least got the grist out of play, and we don't have to think about it right now. We also have more repurposers in our hand. This thing's a land. Play a repurposer.
Okay.
We have a bunch of blockers. Pass.
I was thinking just having 2 repurposers back to double block, maybe.
Yeah,
But-
like, I think... So, my thought process here is that I just have all of these tokens to chump with if I want to. Like, I can kind of chump, not forever, but forever.
Right.
Or we can misclick and press Z and hope for the best. Okay. Pass. That's what I wanted to do in the first place.
You did it. It's fine.
Yeah. Arena scares me sometimes. I don't know what to tell you.
I was gonna say, tell me you're frustrated with Arena without telling me you're frustrated with Arena.
Okay. I love that I need to be in full control mode sometimes. It's my favorite thing.
This board state is not looking great for you.
You don't say. The fact that I had my opponent down to 1 card and next turn they're gonna draw 4. 5, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. 5.
Yeah.
And
That sounds way worse for me than, well, not that.
and have like a couple of like sits in like a 7/7 or something.
Yeah.
Does the Gargantua
It's +2.
okay. And then the Expanding Ooze makes
Yep.
it a 7/7?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Which oddly enough is your life total.
Convenient.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
good.
not terribly worried about it being my life total,
No,
right? Like,
you have chump blockers.
Yeah.
Like you have things and stuff, but
What do we...
yeah.
Okay.
Pump fake. It's fine.
Yeah, so, like, my thought process here is just get down the Oozewag so that I can try to trade with one of these stupid things.
Yeah.
Even if that's incredibly unlikely to matter because my opponent's about to draw so many cards.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna block with a token on the Gargantua, the Oozewag on the Expanding Ooze, because there's no way they don't pump up the Gargantua here with this extra counter to draw cards, right? So, we get to try to trade off with the Ooze, which has already done 1,000,000 damage, like, just to my board and my life and everything.
Would you?
Why didn't I chump?
Yeah. I don't.
That
know.
has to just be, like, me being frustrated and not thinking about it at the moment. But yeah, that very obviously should have been chump, trade.
Yeah.
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 Just frustrating.
What did that say?
I don't know.
Okay.
So, we have a bunch of stuff that doesn't kill a 7/7. We can play a dog and a repurposer. That's fine, I guess. We're going to block with everything. They're going to have literally anything at all to blow us out. And we're going to be sad. Sure.
Draw more cards.
That's a lot of cards. They drew 9 cards this turn cycle.
That's a lot of cards. It's, and they even have a landscape.
Yeah, if they
in
want
play.
to, they can upkeep stop so that they can shuffle away the stuff they put on top. Yeah, everything's terrible. Yeah, attack for 3. We'll chump block this turn. Who cares?
Right.
We're dead.
Yup.
Like, opponent, what, Oozewag? Just play an Oozewag and I cry about it? That's where we're at. They drew 9 cards. They probably have one, right?
I mean, there's I don't think.
Hey, look, there's an Oozewag.
I don't think in their spot there was very many wrong ways to eat that Reese's.
Yeah, like, I guess I should have left back my other repurposer, but, like, really?
Right,
There's no way I'm winning games if that's the plays I'm making, right?
Yeah.
Like, do nothing because they might have an Oozewag?
Right.
That can't possibly be correct. Yeah, and then they just have even more, so now they have Death Touch and Trample, so they just kill me on the spot here.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is our first actual losing draft. This is a 1-3. We are soundly defeated.
Yeah.
The deck didn't feel like a 1-3 deck necessarily.
It didn't really look like one in the deck builder either.
Like, we both agree this was not a masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination, right?
Yeah, not even a little bit.
But it felt like the curve was pretty good.
Yeah.
We had a lot of, like, good value engines between the Nantuku, the Felia, the being able to rebuy witnesses or auxiliaries, you know. Like, it felt like we could grind through quite a bit.
Yes.
And in a couple of those games, we got to demonstrate the ability of the deck to grind.
Right.
But we just didn't quite get there in any of them.
Yeah, the
only one we won was the Boros one that just ran out of steam. They
Right.
had no card advantage and they just ran out of steam, right? So
the card quality that you ended up with, like you said, during the deck building process, you cut the blue cards, and then there wasn't that many white cards. Ended up playing some less than filler cards. Basically,
yeah. So
to try to
we
make
had
the
more
deck
than
out.
one 23rd card.
Right. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Exactly. That's the thing. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, the deck looked like at least like maybe 3-3 to me.
Yeah.
Like on paper, like it looked fine. It just unfortunately that's not the way it went.
Yeah.
So,
But
it happens.
it does. It is what it is. We still have a pretty good win rate in the format overall, and at this point in time, we're still well above 60%
Yes.
our win rate. So, like, even with one bad draft, don't ever let that just kind of turn you off of a format. Sometimes things go wrong, and sometimes things go right and you lose. This wasn't that one. This one, things going wrong. This one was bad.
So this was draft number 7,
Yeah.
I believe, is what the title said. How many Modern Horizons 3 drafts, not necessarily did you go through and record, but how many have you played off the top of your head, just like maybe an average?
I want to say I'm on my 30th draft
Yeah.
currently in real life.
Got you. So number 7 recorded, lost, went 1-3, didn't deter you from playing the
No,
format.
not at
Still
all.
having fun playing the
Yeah.
format. That one of the reasons for this video and is to show you it happens no matter what your skill level is. Sometimes the deck doesn't come together. Sometimes you don't draw the right cards at the right time.
Yeah.
Like, it happens.
Yeah, considering this is like a YouTube series rather than streaming.
Right.
When you're streaming, people get to see your wins and your losses.
Right.
On YouTube, a lot of times you're only going to see the uploads that are the events that do well.
Right.
The events where things go right.
Right.
And I want to make sure that if I'm going to chronicle my like journey through these draft formats,
Yes.
I want to show the highs and the lows.
Yeah, makes sense.
This one's definitely one of the lows. I promise you at some point throughout this series, you're going to see like a whole string of lows, and hopefully that doesn't turn you off too much from the videos entirely. But I promise you there are trophies mingled in there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining us today. Again, I'm Mike. This is Lewis, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.